now, and there's like this connection that happens, and it's pretty amazing how similar it is when it comes down to it.
And you've played in Kuwait too.
Yeah, not Girls in Trouble, but I played with a bluegrass band in Kuwait.
Oh my gosh, that's interesting.
Yeah, yeah, it was wild.
And you were playing violin or fiddle?
Yeah, and also singing. Yeah, it was like, you know, there's like a wide range of Muslim observance levels there. So it was like, we would like play these bluegrass songs, we'd look out, and there was like a bunch of women who basically were dressed sort of like us, and then there were like women in like burqas. It was like, this is really special, like cultural experience.
Interesting.
It was awesome.
Have you ever done an open mic?
God, not for a long time.
I did an open mic last night. Those are a trip. And it was in Berkeley.
Was it comedy or music?
Music.
Uh-huh.
I did one song, and it was it went well. I didn't mess up. I don't know. I mean, the song.
Good for you. It's nerve-wracking.
It is. It was one of my own, so if I would have messed up, nobody really would have known. But I guess it was an interesting experience, so I was just...
Yeah. I do sometimes have a fantasy of just, like, going to an open mic and just kind of, like... Yeah, like, even or taking a song I've played a million times and just being like, what happens if I just do it in this context where, like, no one's there to see me, nobody knows me, it's just, like, pure, you know?
Yeah. That's true. It's... Yeah, you're getting like, okay, what is the reaction? Now, of course, in an open mic, if you're in a room where the audience is about to perform anyway, you're getting kind of the reaction of your peers, of your, you know, people that are just like you trying to be musicians. So you're getting an interesting feedback then.
Yeah, and a lot of really awesome community can come out of that sort of thing because you're all like in a similar place, and you know. It's a great system, I think. It's like great that it's out there.
And how did your Kaddish for Bernie Madoff go in New York?
It went awesome. Thanks for asking. It's going to actually happen. I'm going to perform it again in May in Washington, D.C., and then I think next year in Portland, Oregon. So it's like happening, and I'm going to record it in May, so it'll be available for people who can't actually come see the show. But it was like a really big departure for me artistically, and it was a lot. It was pretty crazy, like getting it ready and figuring out how to do it, and then it went really well. So I was happy.
And you did a lot of research on Bernie Madoff, the Ponzi scheme guy.
I sure did. I have a huge shelf of Bernie Madoff books right in my baby's nursery.
And I think I heard in an interview that was done on a radio station in Portland that you said it was very interesting how people got sucked into it, and it was like it just seemed like for some people you kind of feel bad for those people that got sucked into it because it seemed like it was something legitimate. For a while anyway.
Yeah, well, there's two levels. I feel like for ordinary people who are like not professional financial people who are just looking for like a safe place to put their money, I have like tremendous compassion. It was like a huge tragedy for them. There's no way they really should have known. And I mean, they were like total victims. But then there's this whole other level where what he was doing was mathematically impossible. And so the people who are like government regulators or like people working at banks deciding where to invest their huge hedge funds and stuff, like they totally should have known. So they really like in a way enabled him by not stopping him because they were like making a little bit of money off of each transaction, so it helps them
right
to just like sort of look the other way. So that's a lot of what the piece was exploring, was like why did they look the other way? Why did the financial culture of the moment allow that to happen? Mm-hmm. And like I said, like the individual investors had no way of knowing, like, you know, but the people who were pretty savvy in terms of the markets and the ones who were like working in the markets, they should have known. And they did know, I think.
So you've got that. You're going to do another Kaddish for Bernie Madoff in Washington, D.C. and in Portland. But what other shows do you have coming up as Girls in Trouble?
Well, Girls in Trouble is playing 2 shows in Portland in April. We're playing like a rock show at a, this is very Portland, we're playing a rock show at a like, local organic grocery store type thing.
Awesome.
It's called the Cherry Sprout, with our friend Arrington Dioniso, who has a band called Malaikat Damsinga. So we're playing that on the 6th of April. And then we're playing, like, speaking of different venues, then we're playing at the Oregon Jewish Museum, which is in downtown Portland, on, I think it's April 14th. And that's a beautiful little theater that's sort of tucked away behind this museum. So it'll be like kind of same songs, but pretty different venues.
Wow. Awesome.
Yeah.
So get to Portland to see those shows.
Yeah, come to Portland. It's nice here.
And now we're going to sing a song from Portlandia, the one that Kyle MacLachlan sings.
Oh, my God.
Portland!
I'm so in love with him.
We love Portland! He's just making up the lyrics as he goes along. It's hilarious.
Oh, my God. When they find him as the like, a reggae bass player, oh.
I would love to go see Portland again, and I'd love to see you guys, and I can't wait till you come to the Bay Area as well. And you play in San Diego a lot, I hear.
Yeah, we come down to California a fair amount, and I think now that we moved to Portland, we'll be coming down more. And I think we'll probably play in the Bay Area in August, because I'll be down there to do some teaching. So we'll hopefully set up a show down there.
Yay! And a big thank you to Sylvia for contributing to the show. She did such a good job. And
Sylvia was so quiet.
She's
smiling right now.
Aww.
Yeah. The dirty little secret is that I was letting her play with her papa's records, which she's not allowed to do, but she found like an LP in a corner, and I knew if I took it away from her, she was going to scream. So she's been very happy playing with the record this whole time.
What record was it?
Let's see. It's The Wicker Man, the original motion picture soundtrack, music, and effects.
Okay.
It's red. I don't even know what that is. Aaron has a pretty obscure and awesome record collection. Now might be one record down, thanks to Sylvia.
And did you know Bob Dylan did a song called Sylvia with the Traveling Wilburys?
No.
Yeah, so that's on the first Traveling Wilburys album.
Oh my God! All right, that's another thing to look up. I'm gonna play that after we get off the phone.
But
Sylvia.
I'm gonna play Snow, Scorpions, and Spiders. Can you tell us how this song came about?
Sure, yeah. So this is another song off the first album, and it was actually recorded with the amazing Scott Filter, who's a recordist he used to live in San Francisco, and now he's in North Carolina. So we went down to his house in North Carolina, where he has the studio, and it's all tapes. This is all like analog recording. This is like sort of like a ballad that I wanted to write about the ideas of sort of being on the inside and being on the outside of a community, and what it feels like when just in the course of like natural events, it's like sometimes you're on the inside and sometimes you're on the outside. It's just like how things work. And I wanted to write about that feeling of being on the outside looking in. Whoa. That sometimes happens.
Wow. We've all been there.
Yeah, it's just like a human thing, and it's like in the moment it's so intense, and it just like comes and goes, and there's a story in the Torah of this woman Miriam who sort of gets kicked out of the camp for a while by God, and so that's the story that this song is connected to.
Oh, interesting. Wow, that's cool what you draw inspiration from. And so we're going to listen to the song now. Alicia Jo Rabins, thank you so much, from Girls in Trouble. And they can find out more about you, girlsintroublemusic.com. And you said, or just Google Girls in Trouble Band?
Yeah, you can find us on Twitter and Facebook and Bandcamp and everything. If you usually Google Girls in Trouble Band, yeah.
And it was so good to talk to you. Alicia Jo Rabins with Girls in Trouble on Mike's Daily Podcast.
Thanks, Mike.
Well, my mother named me bitter, although as a child I was so kind, hiding myself in the trees to watch over my brother. But still, my name was bitter, bitter the taste of the sea, bitter the cries of the horses drowning behind us. If anybody had asked me, I might not have chosen to go. But everyone knows sometimes you don't have a choice. So when he said you're banished, 7 days in the desert alone, I just started walking. I knew there was nothing to say. The scorpions and the spiders crawled up to me and stopped in my shade. Together in silence, we watched as the sun crossed the sky. Your father spit in your face, wouldn't you want to leave that place? And if your skin should turn to snow, wouldn't you have to go? And if your God should turn from you, wouldn't you turn too? Still I don't regret a minute, and I don't regret an hour of the week that I lived alone at the top of the mountain. Though no voice came down from heaven, and I never saw words written in fire, I did see the birds of prey pick all the carcasses clean. If anybody had asked me, I might not have chosen to go. But everyone knows sometimes you don't have a choice. And if your father spit in your face, wouldn't you want to leave that place? And if your skin should turn to snow, wouldn't you have to go? And if your God should turn from you, wouldn't you turn too?
Girls in Trouble and the song Snow/Scorpions and Spiders as we go outside the last place on earth where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcastro Valley, California. Big thanks again to Alicia Jo Rabins of Girls in Trouble for being on the show. And find out more about them at girlsintroublemusic.com.
And here's today's podcast picture.
Did you know today is International Ridiculous Pose Day? So are you currently in the midst of an absolutely ridiculous pose? Good, because you should be. And I am in this picture with my good dog, Basil the Boxer. And he and I are standing there in the lovely San Leandro Marina, where you can see San Francisco off in the background. See that picture now at mikesdailypodcast.com. Ooh, and I also have a Pinterest board. You can look that up. I think you can do a search and find it on Pinterest if you are Pinterested. Mike Matthews, I opened up a new gift shop at the last place on earth, and I sold a bunch of norovirus, and now